Women, regardless if you're married or single, embrace each other. Do not
That's
judge
right.
each other. Help and heal and mend each other and become a support system.
Serial entrepreneur, two-time author, and certified master life coach, Chastity Sanye is a native Houstonian who loves living life to the fullest. She specializes in empowering her clients to achieve happiness, success, and mindfulness in their daily lives. As a dynamic empowerment speaker and leadership trainer, she utilizes her 2 decades of experience in corporate America to masterfully unwrap the boss within her clients and students. Her unique coaching and speaking style ignites the fire of purpose, helping them to excel in their area of expertise.
That means you have to train them. And a lot of leaders want to lead and not train.
To learn more, visit ChastitySanye.com.
I am your happiness, successful, mindful master life coach, and I am here to give you the nuggets, the tools, the resources, the networks that you need in order to ignite to the next level.
Good morning and welcome to 2023. Here with me, Chastity Sanye, your leadership, growth, and development expert that focus on happiness, success, and mindfulness. I am so excited to start the new year off with a new season, but everybody knows that the 1st of January, everybody's trying to get fit. Everybody's into health, nutrition, that's on their radar. So what I start my first episode of the year is talking about health. And I am very, very excited to have my coach, my personal trainer, join me in this wonderful, awesome dialogue on this morning about health and nutrition and your mindset. The focus of this episode will be highly focused on your mindset. And further ado, I am going to bring Coach James onto the platform this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Chastity. Thanks for having me on your platform. Good morning to your team and, all your stewards as well.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Coach, we're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about your journey, my journey, and also tips on how to get an individual who really wants to get their body together, condition their body, and really want to get exercise in on their daily life. And note that we're talking about, to my audience, it's mostly hybrid women. And hybrid women are women that is corporate leadership, entrepreneurship, mothers, wives, single moms, all together, pouring out and have multiple hats, trying to blend life balance together as a hybrid woman.
Absolutely. And I have a fond appreciation of hybrid women because they're very motivated, right? And that it helps with the mindset, right, that we talk about. So definitely ready to engage in some conversation. And you're right, it is a new year. And this is the time of season. I call it the season where everyone had that wonderful holiday turkey. And then they had Christmas holiday with all the desserts and family time. And now it's time to trim the extra that we may have put on the side of our ribs.
Right, right. Or some oxtails. Yeah,
or some oxtails. Depending on your cultural background and makeup, right? So
right. So good. So I'm gonna ask you to help guide us on, let's talk about the health part of it.
Absolutely.
And give them some tips on being healthy. Sometimes I know when we started, I might have a different definition of what being healthy looked like.
Yeah.
And from my understanding under your training, it's all about your BMI count. Let's talk about that and those numbers and statistics from that standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. So a normal range for BMI is typically 24, right? But you could have a BMI and have a healthy, good BMI and have a six pack, and you could have a healthy BMI and have a little, extra around you. And so it's really more so about your health metrics, all in your BMI. What is your blood pressure? What is your cholesterol? Your body fat percentage? Because all that matters, right? BMI is, I tell most of my clients, is very directional. And so once you kind of get in the range of that BMI, and we've had this kind of discussion, right? There's going to be certain areas where you want to hit, right? Because you're like, well, my BMI look good, my body fat percentage is in within range, but I want to hit this certain area of my body, where it be my back or my side, or for most women, right? Because women do this wonderful thing of carrying our gifts, and so when you have a baby, sometimes we have that little baby pooch, and so it's I want to target that, coach. I want to get rid of that, and so it really boils down to you understanding your body statistics, right? And so the first thing I always say is make sure you have a meeting with your doctor, right? To make sure that one, they understand what program you're getting into, but two, you understand your numbers. You need to have a way to gauge, right? It's like when we're doing our regular job and we're looking at different things, we have some kind of key performance indicator of how we should be doing or how things should be going. And so for your body, you got to have the same thing for you. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? And then from there, you have to build a mindset.
So I'll tell you this. I'll tell some people my journey. I came to coach about 18 months ago now.
Yeah.
Is it 18 months ago? Let me think.
It was just about, I think, about
14 months. Is that
yeah.
14? Yeah, 14, 15, 14, about to be 15 months. I came to coach, and I just woke up one day and said, I'm not liking what I see in the mirror. I've always been a health person, always worked out, but sometimes as hybrid women, when we get married as well as give birth to a child, like Coach James says, a gift, we tend to, as women, as hybrid women, kind of forget about ourselves and who we are, because now we have two or multiple personalities that we're blending in a household. You're either a husband and a wife. That's one personality you're blending and trying to understand. And we as women, we take on ownership of extra stuff where men might not take as much of ownership on things concerning emotional, being nurtured, and things of that nature. So then when you have kids as hybrid women, those another personalities that you take on and you take stewardship over. So we tend to lose ourselves in that day-to-day process of what we call our lives. So basically 14 months ago, I was like, I miss the old Chastity. And I love my husband. I love my daughter, but I also love myself. And if I am not healthy, and if I don't get my mindset back concerning my health, I might not be here to be active with my daughter. At that point, I was so tired mentally, and I would just to walk up a flight of stairs with my daughter, I was tired. Now, I'm pretty tall, so my weight distributes very proportional. If you just saw me, you didn't think, oh, she's not in shape or she's not healthy, X, Y, and Z. But when I was carrying my child up the stairs and I was out of breath, I was like, Chelsea, you need to get yourself together. And how I got in touch with Coach James is we both were at a business function after work with our companies. And we were the pretty much only person of our culture there. So when you're out doing business events, you kind of see who's in the atmosphere. And plus, we connected. This is how we truly connected.
Oh.
About the boys. So he had his cowboy hat on. So that was another connection. And we started talking a little, and I asked him, what did he do? And he told me about the corporate business, but he also told me about his entrepreneurship, in which is in healthness and fitness. And I said, you know what? I need you, because I had started thinking about that. And I'm trying to make a long story short, so I won't take too much of the time. And that week, I met him probably third week in August.
Mm-hmm.
And the next week, I was just like, I'm not happy with what I see in the mirror. I have to do something different. Like, for real, I am not happy. And my happiness is important to me. And then my father said something to me. Then my best friend in LA said something to me. And then that Saturday, I was going to get my hair done. And the person that does my hair, she's been doing my hair since I was 12. She was like, when I walked in, she was like, you need to sit down. We need to talk. I'm like, what didn't happen, girl? I'm about to get the tea up in here. And she said, what is going on with you? And I'm like, dang, God, are you giving me a sign? Like, literally, I've said that to myself, and 3 people that I love and respect has said that in a 3-day span. Got my hair done, got in my car, and I called Coach James, and I said, I'm ready. And I didn't think he really believed me. And he was like, well, what's your schedule? I'm ready on Monday. Let's do this. Let's do this consult on Monday. And then it was right before Labor Day. And he was like, have your fun for the next 7 days. When you come see me on the 6th of September, we're going to get it in. And we have been getting it in since September 6, 2001.
2001, yeah.
2001. We've been getting it hard since 2001. It was all because I wanted to change my mindset. I wanted something different for myself. And it wasn't about losing weight. It was about being healthy and being tell me if I'm correct in that, Coach. I said, I want to be, he asked me, what are my goals? I said, I want to be able to walk up the stairs with my daughter in my hand and not be out of breath.
And be healthy. That's it.
And be healthy. That's all I told him. He was asking me all these other questions. I was like, I don't care about all that other mess. I want to walk up a flight of stairs with my daughter without getting out of breath, and I want to be healthy. And whatever comes after that comes. And I'm gonna shut up right now.
And that for me was a very touching piece of our consultation, right? Because I'm like, I have young kids, and I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna let you not make it up the stairs with your daughter. This is our first milestone, and we're gonna go hit, and we're gonna get there together. And you know, you did it very quickly, and that was probably our most proudest moment in our journey. So
tell my audience a little bit on what you did for me to get me where I need to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what does a person that comes to your facility, Elite Zone Fitness, they come to your, what are they going to expect? What is the stepping stairs to get where they need to be from a mental mindset of health and nutrition?
Absolutely. I think when it comes along with mindset, right, it's accountability, it's vulnerability. And so in coming to my gym, right, I ask for a couple things from my clients. One, I ask that you be open and honest about what your goals are, right? I tell most of my clients, I'm not going to put you on a fitness magazine. That's not my intent. My intent is to help you reach critical milestones for you and what your goals are asking. 2, I ask for accountability. So when you work out with me, typically for the first 6 to 8 weeks, I give you things you cannot do. You cannot drink alcohol. You have to change your diet. And really that's more so in helping you to create habits, because part of having a healthy mindset is building sustainable habits. As mentioned earlier, you know, people go through the holidays. If you go to the gym right now between 5 and 9 o'clock, you won't have a machine to use. Everybody's occupying everything. And then by the time spring break comes, the gym has reduced by 50%. And then by the time summer comes, you can get every machine you want, right? And so part of working out with me is I'll run you through a physical assessment, because I want to know where I can push and engage you, right? Because part of being a trainer is be able to know where you can push your clients. I also need to understand your limitations. You know, my clients range anywhere between 25 years of age to I've had up to 57, right? And so, Someone who's 25 is going to have a lot less ailments than someone who's 57, right? Because we've been through life. We've maybe ran or did sports in our younger years. And so our body has had a little bit more mileage and requires a little bit more maintenance, a little bit more care on your joints than you would as someone who's 25, who's, can run and do circles and flips, and sustain a little bit more physical activity. And so what I like to do is do an assessment on my clients first. And then from there, after that assessment, I give you a goal, right? We set it together. It's not just James, coach, driving it. It's me and the client driving it. And that was what we did for you, Chastity, was, we set up a goal, and every step of the way, there's measurements. We check against those goals, and then we make sure those habits are created for foundation.
That is so true. Habits. What I also realized that you have to put personal development on your priority list. You have to want to change. You have to want to be healthy. You have to that is part of your personal development, should be part of your personal development, to be the best you that you know that you can be. And you have to make that a priority. I think you have to have a long-term vision in exercising when you're trying to be fit. I think this is my personal opinion. I think when you have a short-term vision on your health, you're going to get somewhere, and then you're going to plateau, and then you're going to go, oh, I'm here and I don't need to work. And you have to recondition your mind, because even though I'm on a long-term contract with my health, I will admit in the last 3 weeks, I've been like, I'm fine. I might not need to go to the gym. And I'm a very dedicated person. But then I said, no, that's the mindset. You're not fine, because if you do take a week off, if you do take 2 weeks off and you decide to get back in, you're going to be paying the price. Or you might just keep doing a snowball effect and end up not going back to the gym. So no, Chastity, changing my mind. You're not where you need to be. There's always room for improvement, and keep going and keep going. Coach James, are you going to be at the gym? Nope, but I'm going to go anyway.
Yeah. And we've been stuck. I love this segue you put there, right? Short term and long term. Because what I think, I'm going to use an interesting example. There's a show called The Biggest Loser. And they go through this ring of physical activity, for 12 weeks. And it's like a reality show / contest / health and fitness. And a lot of the participants in that show, they lose the weight, right? Because there's accountability, there's someone watching you, there's no one, but the short-term goal in that show is to lose the weight. And for most people in life, it's, I want to lose the weight. What happens to people is, if you don't have a long-term vision of where you want to be or where you want to land health-wise, that weight, I always use the analogy of Professor Clump, right? It will come right back on you 3 times worse than how you lost it. And what happens is you get discouraged because you're like, oh, the weight's back on. Well, you got to have a long-term goal. And sometimes we can hit with sacrifice, right? There's sacrifice. There's days where you don't want to go to the gym. There's days where life happens. You have your children to deal with or work to deal with, right? And I think some of the key in just working with Chastity, some of the journey is, how do we mitigate the, life, right, and sacrifice? And whether it be, bring your daughter to the gym or bring your laptop and get your work done, right? There's
Right.
times where it's like, hey, coach, what's the Wi-Fi password? I got to get this meeting out the way so we can get it in. It's those kind of things. And I think the unique thing about what I do is that I like to make sure, because my clients are all mostly professional people, I cater to that realm, right? Because I understand that in my normal life outside of my training, I also have those kind of things I have to do. And so it's being able to sacrifice and meet in the middle, to where you can still reach your long-term vision, right? Versus the short-term. Short-terms are very easy, even in your regular world. But when it comes to your health, right, our life expectancy is, particularly for people of color, is very short, right? We get to about 72. And by literally just working out, right, you can extend your life, right? So there's a unique app. When Chastity comes to the gym, she gets on my scale, and it's interesting. It tells you, based on your statistics, what age you are. And some of my clients get that wow factor, right? Because it's like, man, I'm 38 years old. When you get in that app, it tells you you're 45. And some of my clients getting their feelings like, that's not good. I'll say, well, we got something about that. And so, you know, when you come in, you work out, you do those things you're supposed to do, you get into the range where you're supposed to be. You're like, now I feel that way, right? And so it's important that, you know, one, there's sacrifice. Two, there's motivation. Three, you have an open mind, right, to have that mindset you need to hit these milestones. So that's kind of, you know, that's a great segment. And it really starts at a young age. You know, we have children, right? And if you build these habits for yourself, start trickling down to your children, we can reduce the level of obesity we have in our kids. That's a huge problem for us in the U.S. And so it's important that we do it for ourselves because we have to set that example for our children. You got to leave a legacy behind you. So
you are so correct. That legacy is very important, especially in our culture. We have to start affirming and putting positive things out there for them to have a longevity of life and for ourselves. I wanted to talk about this. I want your opinion. So, what is the difference, in your opinion, because you are the expert in this, what is the difference of training a woman versus training a man? The pros and cons.
Yeah, there are some key differences. So I will put it like this. Women like to question a lot of things, right? Why we do it this way? What's the purpose of that? Why are we doing this, right? But I would say the key difference is once you explain it, I think for women is having an understanding. They're all in, right? For your males come in there with bravado. I've done this. I was an athlete. I played football. They want to throw on all the weights in the world. They want to impress, right? I'm like, you have nothing to impress. And what ends up happening is your males come in there, they try to impress, they leave the next day probably sore as heck, and then they're like, well, I'm gonna see, you know, if I'm gonna come back in there or not. Or they'll say, I'll try to do it on my own, right? And then some of these males, you see them a few weeks down the road, you're like, what happened? Thought you were gonna work out. He's like, well, yeah, I was doing it, but then, you know, stuff happened and I couldn't do it, right? They are quite stubborn, right? You have to have, especially from males, from male to a male, because, you know, some males, right, we look at our physiques. So some males come in there and they're, you know, they're stocky. They're like, yeah, you know, but trainers come in every form, right? There is no, you can have a trainer who used to play football, who just got out, who is super swole and ripped, right? I have some friends who are in the professional training circuit, right? They do the shows, so they're really big, right? But then you have some folks who are very educated and understand the mindset of the body, how things work, how you tweak things, how you move things around. So it's really adapting. And so for some males, it's what they see, right? We're just how we are. And so for me, it takes the right kind of male. I typically am very selective with my client. I truly am. I don't take on everybody because I want to be able to reach my goals and I want you to reach yours. And
what are your explain to the audience your goals?
So my goals are for my clients to reach their milestones. So when we set something, we need to hit it. So if you say, Coach, I want to feel better, I want to feel healthier, I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, we're going to do that, right? And if we're not doing that, sometimes with my client, we give opportunities, but you have to know in a relationship when there's time to continue that relationship and when it's time to say, hey, we can pivot. We've plateaued. We've reached where we're going to reach. But I think if we can't change our mindset, you know, there's other coaches who may be able to establish and help you with where you're going with right now, right? Because at the end of the day, we have targets and we have to reach our targets. So that's kind of how I am, right? I don't like to waste anyone's time. And so we have to all be honest and accountable, right? And it's like I said, when you train, it's an open relationship. It's almost like, you know, you become brother and sister, right? And sometimes you might get on your brother's nerves, and sometimes your sister's gonna get on your nerves. But at the end of the day, you're all family, right? And you try to do things to help each other get better. And so for me, it was more so in that realm. So my goal is to make sure my business, right? Because it is a business, right? It's a results-oriented business. I have to reach my goals because when people look at my social media platform or my clients, they got to say, oh, he did a good job, right? No different than you. When you leave, they got to say, oh, Pastor, you look good. Actually, it's interesting because there's a comment we have about your Angela Bassett arms. And, you know, it was a long way because when we first started working out, you're like, I don't know, coach. I ain't going to get no arms like that. And after several months, right? And remember we first started, yes, a gazillion questions. Coach, was this? Coach, was that? But yeah, I'll tell you, she got some Angela Bassett arms, and she ain't done. But
No.
she worked real hard for them.
I did. I am. And what I realized working with him, and again, you come in with your vision. And it might not be where the end result is going to come. But again, I came in, I want to walk up a flight of stairs with my daughter in my hands and not be out of breath. And I wanted to be healthy. And then, because at first he was like, what do you? I said, I don't care about that. But actually, when I got into working out and my mindset and I felt good, I was like, okay, here my body goes. So we were talking about celebrities. This is a funny thing. We were talking about celebrities and I'm like, nah, I don't want that. Like, what about Serena? That would, I think her body is beautiful, but her body is not my body. And I know I don't want to work to even try to attempt to get that body because that's just not me. So I picked my two women, Sierra, and I finally picked her, Sierra and Miss Berry. So I was like, that's the body image, toneness. I don't want to look like no man. And I ain't knocking no woman that has very strong biceps, but I want to look like that. And then we start critiquing a little bit more. I said, oh, Angela Bassett arms, not too much, but hey, just right where it looks good, but I wear certain clothing. And we've been going that route. What I will say, and you can interject as I'm saying this, and what do you think? What has helped me as a hybrid woman in fitness, health, is visualizing my success, understanding what it is. Before coach even comes into the equation, literally my mind had to be, what is my end goal? What do I want? Understanding that. I had to basically be positive. Even, every woman, even man, but every woman, we have so many different things that are pulling us, and we can get distracted and we can sulk. So I'm always positive, and he could tell when I'm having a stress day. And the beauty about having a coach that is in line, if he sees that energy level down, come on, Chastity, hey, good evening to you. And I'm like, oh Lord. But he continues to understand positivity is a key element of your mindset in the health industry. And I appreciate that. Be aggressive. I'm already aggressive. He's already aggressive. So we're always going to challenge each other in this program. What can you do? Well, let's see. Okay, I think and be honest in being aggressive. If you can do it, do it. If you can't do it, you can't do it. Not hypothetical. Case in point, I had pulled a spasm in my sleep on Friday on my calf. And I love this workout that he's putting together for me for the next 2 weeks. But I have to modify it because my calf is sore. I want to be aggressive, but he also knows that you need to push back.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, and then he continues to let me do certain leg movements, I can injure myself even more. I appreciate that he's aggressive, but he also knows when to pull back so it won't injure me in the long run. I'm going to stop. I have some more points, but I'm going to stop and let you chime in.
No, I think you hit some key things. And I would say people set their goals, right? Sometimes you reach a goal. Sometimes you're like, what took so long? Like, I think when we first started working out, right? You wanted to get to X. We got there, but it was a little slow. And you're like, why is it taking so long? I said, this is a marathon, not a sprint. I'm always going to preach that, right? But you have to be positive, right? And there are some days you don't feel it. And this time of year for me, I hate the cold weather. Some days I'm like, man, it's too cold in here. But at the end of the day, we got to go to reach. So if I got to put on 3 jackets and cut my heaters on me, we're going to get through this workout. The third piece of that, what you talked about and you hit on real key, is you do have to understand your body and you have to be honest. There's some days where, Chassie's working out or a client of mine's working out and they'll have some more weight thrown on them. They won't even know they had it thrown on, because you got to understand where you got to push your clients. You got to understand the levers, but you can't go overboard, right? So if you add incremental weight, 5 pounds here, 5 pounds there, sometimes they're like, I didn't know I can do that. So you got to push it, but you also have to understand when the client's body is speaking. And so what I always do is I like to have conversations. How was last night? What did you do? And sometimes things will come up. Well, yeah, I did this and I had a Charlie horse. Okay, well, we're not doing that workout today. I'm going to modify it. And I've modified for my clients several times, because at the end of the day, soft tissue issues can create long-term opportunities for your body. Case in point, just to give you an example, if you get a Charlie horse in your calf, right, your calf is connected to your Achilles tendon, which is also connected to your knee, right? And so if you do these workouts and you put that on that body where that you could have a spasm or strain, it can get worse. So what ends up happening is now we've hurt the muscle, right? Now you have a soft tissue injury. And so if you would have waited, a week to let the body heal up, now we got to wait 4 to 6 weeks and you can't work out. So, it's understanding your body, understanding your coach, and a good coach or a good trainer for anyone. If you don't choose coach or you use any other trainer, they should be watching your workouts. They should be on the floor, watching you, seeing what you're doing and saying, oh, you're doing this wrong. Let's correct this position. Let's do that. Right. They should be constantly making sure you're doing your things, because your coach may not be available all the time. There are times I have to travel, right? And I have to trust that my client is doing things correctly. And so you can have these interactions, positive and negative, or conversations where you be in person or in a remote setting or hybrid setting, right? For the hybrid audience out there, you can have these interactions all kind of ways, but it's also building the confidence in your trainees so they can do that. And they know, okay, coach said, do it this way. Even if you go to a gym, a big box gym, and you see these people and be like, hey, let me, they see you work, like, let me show you how to do it this way, right? But this may not be the way that works for you. And so you guys make sure you understand the approach and how you do the mechanics of the workout.
That is awesome. So I'm going to go with the next one. You have to be focused. You have to stay the course. Basically, it's a marathon. It is not a sprint. And you have to know that your focus is going to help you push through the adversity concerning your health, your workout. Because sometimes you're like, I didn't know I could do that. I mean, push-ups was very hard to me. I don't like push-ups. I don't even like push-ups now, and I can do push-ups. They're not my favorite thing. But hey, give me some hack squats, give me some leg push, give me some back rolls, seated rolls. I'm good with that. But I do not, absolutely, in no shape, fashion, form, like push-ups. But I had to do it, and I had to stay focused. And the next tip that I have concerning my mindset is no sulking. You have about 2 minutes to sulk and then get over yourself. Because if you start sulking, you counter being positive. Mm-hmm. So no sulking. I can't do it. Okay, you can't do it in that form, but let's modify it so we can get you there. So no sulking. Don't get complacent. Those are my next 3 things. Focus, no sulking, and don't get complacent. What is your thoughts about those key points of the mindset?
I think those are great key points. And if you talk on focus, right, I think it's really important is when someone designs a workout program for you, they're going to design a program to reach the milestones you give them, right? And sometimes you have to realize and focus on what they have in front of you. Your workout might be things you hate, you don't like, push-ups or running. And I clearly remember when we started the program, when we started running, our running goal was 12 minutes, 1 mile, right? And it may not be achievable the first few weeks. It takes time, you build up to it, but it takes focus, right? And no sulking. right, to get there, and trust the program, right?
Trust the process.
Trust the process. Same thing, when, like you said, with push-ups. Push-ups. So for most women are very lower body focus, or have strength more so in the lower body. Guys are more upper body. Guys, typically what you say is don't skip leg day for guys, because guys always have upper body physique, but the legs are missing. Women are have the lower extremities, the thighs, the rears, all those things, the calves, where guys won't. So women's legs are typically stronger. And so when you do push-ups, they call it the girl push-up, right? Where you use your knees and you push up. That doesn't mean that you're not strong. What happens is you build up push-ups, and you just kind of counteract until you build the strength. And over time, you can do them. And I remember the time when you did those push-ups, and she's like, Coach, I ain't gonna do these push-ups. It's not gonna work for me. I said, just Chastity, give it some time. Let's focus. And no sulking. And she got through it. And when we did our fitness assessment, she got through 25 of those push-ups, y'all. And I was, it was encouraging to see. I have male clients who, can't do leg workouts as good, and they were able to get through their leg workouts. It goes over time. It's not a 2-week thing. It is a long-term, what I want to gain, what are my benefits? And for you, is like I said, I want to be able to walk around without breathing hard, that's fine. We got a program for that. It's just making sure you have the focus to do those things.
Awesome. The next one was don't be complacent. What is your
Yep.
on that?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, when you're working out, right? Sometimes we can get to a point where we're like, okay, I can lift this, I can do that workout, I can do this, but you should challenge yourself. Hey, coach, I'm gonna throw some more weight on there. Sometimes, you gotta challenge yourself, even though your coach says, well, let's wait a little bit. Sometimes you got to see where you're at, right? And you can't be complacent. And also your coach can't be complacent. Like when they design the workouts, it can't be so robotic, right? Where you're doing the same workout for a whole year. One, as a client, you probably get bored and won't come back. And two, as a coach, you understand is your body does plateau. That's why you have to have different workouts frequently, because you have to confuse your body, right? It's called muscle confusion. And so where you hit a different aspect of the body or a different muscle, because your body is like so entwined with muscles and fibers and tissues and all those things, you have to confuse it. And so you have to have different workouts so you don't get complacent in what you're doing. But you also can't get complacent in your activity and coming to your workout, right? You can't say, okay, I've been good for a while, so I'm gonna skip workout this week, or I've been good for now, I'm gonna go ahead and get this fried catfish that I got, or these these oxtails, right? You got to stick to where your long-term goal is. If you get complacent, you will revert back.
I'm going to say something on that, 'cause you said something complacent. Also, he put me on intermittent fasting. So I eat 8 days out of the week, 8 hours out of the day, and 16 hours, nothing.
Yeah.
So I eat between 11 and 8. And I'm going to tell y'all this. I'm pretty much 98%, I don't break my fast. But when I have to break my fast, I don't sulk, because it's life, it happens. But whatever I do, I make very healthy choices. Like, for example, this weekend I had different activities with outside organizations that I'm part of. And Friday night, I really didn't eat anything, but I was starving. So when I got to the place where we were having the event, I was like, okay, it's 8:45. I get it. I don't eat after 8, but I'm starving. So what can I do? Okay, what does your salad have on there? I got a green salad with a slice of salmon, grilled salmon on there. You have to make healthy choices, even if you break your regimen. Because sometimes life happens and you break your regimen. Do not be hard on yourself, but be very in tune with the choices you make after that. So, for example, ladies and men, if you are a social drinker and you like to drink, but you want to stay healthy and you want to exercise, you can't, I'm just being honest with you, you can't have a pina colada.
Yeah.
You just can't have a pina colada and think that you could drink all the pina coladas, all these sweet drinks with these alcoholic beverages, and think you're going to get the results. You're going to have to cut back and be mature in your drinking and in your social life. You can find different ways to have a nice adult beverage without all that extra goop. And I do want to talk about that because what I come across when I'm talking to women about my fitness is, girl, I can't stop drinking. I gotta have my pina colada. I have to have my this. What do you do? I think about it. So let's tap in just a little before we go to the next part of the segment and wrap it up. Let's talk about how you can still be fit and have adult beverages if you desire to have adult beverages, because that is a really hot topic. As I talk to a lot of women, I was like, I can't give up that, girlfriend. I'm like, really?
That's good. I think that's a good topic. I think, remember, it goes to choices, right? And where do you want to land, right? So in your health journey, you're on that plane. Where do you want to land? Do you want to land on the beach? Do you want to land in the city? And so for me, it's sometimes you have to make choices, right? Short-term choices for long-term results. So I tell most of my clients is 6 weeks of no drinking. And then once you start back your drinking, reduce the sugary drinks, because a lot of those drinks, your Long Islands, your pina coladas, your Jack and Cokes, your Crown Apple and Sprite, whatever those drinks are, they're full of sugar. And the one thing that sits in your body that creates that gut around us, right, is we have excess sugar because it creates excess fat, because our body is using that to store, right? It's like hibernation. That fat hibernates. It's visceral fat. And as you drink those things, right, and you say, I want to be healthy, those things, when it goes to your liver, it breaks down differently. And so it doesn't help you in your journey. So you can find alternate drinks that don't carry as much sugar. They may not be to your liking at first, right? But it's all learning. If you had nothing else to drink in this world but water, and you don't like water, you're going to drink water. But if you want to have the same effects of being social and all those things, there's drinks that are out there. Ranch water are one of those. Vodka soda are another one of those. You can drink things without the juices, drinking neat. There's things like that can help you still have that social, setting and have fun.
And also you can, if you do need a sweetener, you can ask the bartender, do you have agave?
Yeah.
And that can change your ranch water into a margarita, I guess, because it's tequila. But they can put healthy stuff in your drink, but you have to educate yourself. And I'm talking about alcohol because you have to educate yourself with everything, with food. But I know in conversations with some lady friends of mine, the first thing is like, girl, I can't do that. I don't know about that. So I just want to put that out. It's not all about the alcohol of changing how you eat. It also is the food. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But the next two things I want to talk about is your mindset concerning toughening up and have the faith and get it. And I want to talk in conjunction of your programs and what you've put me through, like strengthening and HIT and heavy weight 555s, those things. So in the mix of toughening up and having the faith and getting it, let's talk about different exercise components.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have several realms of fitness, right? You have strength and conditioning or strength building. You have your calisthenics, which are more like your HIIT activities. And so it just, it really determines where you're going to go. So in terms of your question, if you are trying to go through a journey, you have to have a program that's designed to help you reach those milestones. So typically, if you're trying to lose weight, the programs I customize for my clients are more of a full body HIIT routine, right? We need to sweat it out, cardio it up, and get the body flowing, right? And as we start to lose a little bit of that weight, we then start to tailor it towards toning. So what you'll see is you'll start seeing your body doesn't happen overnight, right? But your body starts to move, and you may not see it right away, right? But people around you will. You go look in the mirror, like, okay, I guess I see a little something. But folks around you be like, nah, you've been working, right? And then you'll say, okay, I lost some weight, but now I need a tone. And so then the program gets designed to, okay, we're gonna lift a little bit of weights here. We're gonna add some weights there, and it's less of hit and more working out. There's also like boxing and those kind of things, right? We throw things together because I'm targeting certain aspects, but typically I go full body workout because what I don't want for you is to have a body that's like, okay, my legs are nice, but now I got this going on. I want to hit everything. And when you hit everything, it takes a little bit of time to, I'll say, sculpt, right? Your body is a statue for me, right? What you bring to me is this raw piece of clay, and we're going to hit and chisel away at different little things each time. But it does require for us to have a program that starts with X and a program that ends with Y. And what it ends up coming to is, at the end of, once you hit all these different milestones, you may have what we call a hybrid program, which is a combination of strength and hit, because now you're doing both, right? We're hitting both those things, and because you've been working out for so long, your body can sustain it. You can run a mile in 10 minutes or less. Your endurance is better. Your breathing is better. What you can handle and strength wise is better, and so we can tackle all these things and be done with your program. Program should be designed to be anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour, right? That's your program design. So whoever is doing your training, that's how they should design the program. Now, obviously, if you're with someone or you're with your coach, right, you're going to have conversations and talking, but the program itself is 30 minutes to an hour. If someone has you in the gym for 2 hours of just working out, your body is just not going to react like it should to that, unless you're like, Halle Berry preparing for a movie or something like that. That's a different kind of training. That's a different kind of mindset. For us normal folk, it's a little different, right? And so it should be there 30 minutes to an hour. Get your workout. Drink plenty of water. Water, water, water. Your body is made of 70% of water. You need to drink plenty of water while you're doing your workout, and then what you put in your body is important.
Now, going to nutrition. We know there's weight management. We know there's something called chronic disease. We know that workout studies have shown that if you're working out and you're eating right, your BMI is good. It strengthens your immune system. Of course, this is always a key: mental well-being and aging.
Yep.
So let's talk about the foods, like the grains, the fruits and vegetables, the sugar, the fat, the protein that one might need, in the different suggestions and categories that can go with that. Because like one of your clients, she was very big on food blood.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm not. I just tell me, don't eat this, I'm good. But you have people who are very much into food blood types. So let's just tap on that for the last part of the segment.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have several types of diet programs. Keto, blood type, low cal, low fat. It really depends on, one, the design of your program, and two, where you're trying to go. I think for most people, right, I think it's really important that, if you're going through a weight loss journey, one, you have to reduce your fats, your bad fats. There are good fats. Avocado is a great fat. There's something Chastity got for fasting. She's like, I don't know what to eat for breakfast, coach. You can have some avocados on whole grain toast. You can put some tomatoes on there if you want or not, but it is delicious, and it's a good fat. It's not a bad fat, and it's good for your cholesterol. It's just a very good kind of item. But to answer the question, there are different diets, and so you just have to be conscientious of where you're trying to go and your caloric intake, right? Because if you're thinking in this perspective, if I am trying to build and be a muscle bound person, I have to consume more calories than what it suggests for my body, because when you consume more calories, you put on weight. If you want to put on weight, you have to also put on protein, because protein does what? It repairs the muscle fibers. So when you start working out, you tear your muscles, right? And they heal, and then you eat protein, and that's why the guys get super big, because these athletes are just being, fed, right? At the same time, if you want to lose weight, you have to reduce the caloric intake, but properly. And when I say properly, that means healthy choice options.
Right.
Your salads, reduce, the number of starches. Your body does need some carbohydrates. It just needs it, right? But it has to be a reduction of those carbohydrates in your body. You need to also have, a good amount of proteins to sustain. From foods, typically your red meats carry high cholesterol. Your pork carries high cholesterol. Remember, pigs eat everything. So you are what you eat, right? It's an old saying. And so typically would say is, you kind of want to reduce your red meats, focus more on your chickens, your fishes, if you like fishes. Or you can do the impossible, right? We live in a world of very new technology when it comes to food. Impossible stuff is good. Like, if you want to have a good example, Fuddruckers has a fantastic, especially if you have budget conscious, right? Because not everybody's going to go to these super expensive health conscious restaurants. You have regular restaurants where you can get, a turkey burger. You can get an impossible burger. You can get a black bean burger, and they're good. They don't taste nasty. They taste good. They're seasoned good. But you got to put in good things for your body. You got to be adaptable, right? More than anything, you have to be adaptable, right? Because you might get something like I had some fish tacos, but where they made the tortilla, it was plant-based. And I was like, okay, let me try that out. It was delicious. So you have to be adaptable in what you're doing. But the biggest thing is making sure, if you're trying to lose weight, right, knowing how many calories you should intake to lose weight. When two, have a professional person or someone who understands that part of your nutrition help you, because you get on Google and say, okay, if I want to lose 10 pounds and I'm supposed to have 1,300 calories, I'm gonna do 500. Wrong. You're gonna be in the hospital after a while, because you're not eating enough to sustain your body and your organs to progress. It has to be managed. It has to be in a program where, if you have to have 1,300, you consume 1,100, right? As I say, it takes time, right? It's almost like when you're trying to cook for Thanksgiving and you're making that turkey, right? It takes time. You can't make a turkey in 2 hours. Everybody's going to get sick. No different than your body. You got to do things gradually. And what you'll see over time is, as you start running and doing health and fitness and all those different things, along with your nutrition plan, you're going to lose the weight, and it's going to do it the proper way.
Okay. All right. I think we hit on every aspect concerning the mindset with health and nutrition. This last part, I want to talk about you, your business, and upcoming things that you have. And I will talk about upcoming things that I have for 2023.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you. So recently I'm working with one of my business partners on a youth sports program that focuses on basketball, and we're rolling volleyball, track and field, and football. But what we're working on now is the basketball element of it. We're looking to launch March 18th right here in the Missouri City area, Pearland as well. What we're trying to do is help drive leadership in our youth. Right, there are a lot of young male and young females that are missing that figure in their lives, and they need, to have that kind of enrichment and fellowship, and to build social cognition among kids. Our kids, with COVID, have been stuck in the house for 2 years, right? And a lot of kids are missing that social connectivity among their peers. Everybody's kids you see these days, we go to restaurants and dinner tables. What do you see? You see an iPhone or a tablet, right? Back in my day, because like my grandpa used to say, used to go outside. So we want to bring back outside in an indoor environment where these kids are playing, exercising, but also learning the skills of the game. And so, whether it helps them build leadership, maybe it helps them with a scholarship, it helps them make their basketball teams or volleyball teams. But that's where we're headed to for 2023, and to build that program out to help these kids in the surrounding area and then expand that out. So, well, thank you for that, Chastity.
Also talk about your coaching and what they would get with you, how it runs, your
Absolutely.
purpose, vision.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those folks who work out with Coach James, I am available 7 days a week. Just depends on the time. But my vision, as mentioned in this segmentation, is that you have to come in there with the mindset, right? So typically I work with a lot of professionals, but I work with everybody. But you got to have the mindset. You come in, you get a consultation, and for 2023, I take on a handful of clients, right? Because I'm very dedicated to my clients. So, if you come in, you get your fitness assessment from me, and we'd love to work with you this year in 2023. You can definitely reach out to me. I do have a social media platform, elizonefitness.ezf. You'll see videos of what my clients are doing as well on there. And then my website, elizonefitness.com. But feel free to reach out to me, schedule an appointment, get an assessment. More than anything, my assessments are free. Come get an assessment, see where you are. Let's have a conversation. And then, if we align and say, hey, this is where we want to go for your journey, let's start that journey together and get you right for 2023 and beyond.
Y'all heard that his assessments, and I'm putting this in the box. So if people are looking,
hold me to it.
Yes, I'm putting it in the box as we speak. He said, Coach James, health assessments are free.
Free. For the free. Come see me.
Free. So what does that mean? No excuses.
That's right.
No excuses. The excuses are made for the weak. You can do this. It is a marathon. It is not a race. It's your marathon. It's your race. And it doesn't matter who's ahead or behind, as long as you are doing what you need to do. And, my favorite person, celebrity person, mentally wise, is Muhammad Ali. And the funny part about it, when I was 5 or 6, he was in Houston filming one of those films or whatever. And if anybody knew downtown, if you shop, you went to Foley's. And he was downtown at Foley's, and he picked me up. And I didn't know that, but, I don't remember it that well, but my parents do. And had a very good, time with him. My mom said he was a nice person and whatnot. But I've always liked his sayings and his way of thinking, his aggressiveness. And I like that he competes with himself. He was never a person in competition with anybody else. He said, I'm the best what I do. Now, if you come in my circle, it is what it is. You need to be the best you need to be. But just know that I'm confident in myself, and I wear that swag, and my competition daily is myself. So I've always been a person, I'm in competition with myself. I am always battling back and forth on how to make Chastity a better person. And I think we as a culture, we as women, we need to be in competition with ourselves to basically grow and build and promote us to the next level where we need to be promoted to. But I am very happy to have Coach James here talking about fitness and things of that nature. I really do believe that we as hybrid women, we have to stay fit. We have to take care of ourselves. And if you are looking for somebody, please reach out to Coach James. He is the person that will help you. And if you're a corporate woman and you're a woman that has a family and children, he will modify it for you. He does believe in that aspect, and that's what makes him a good coach.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else to say and share with us on this morning?
No, I look forward to the rest of our journey. I know we have a lot planned this year for you in particular. So, let's get it 2023.
Okay. Well, thank you, Coach James. It's been a pleasure. All this information is in the comment section. If you want to reach out to him, please do and become great. That's what you need to do. Have a good one.
Thank you.
To all, thank you. I want to let y'all know there's a couple of things that is coming down the pipeline for the hybrid woman and your hybrid woman experience. I am listening to everybody in my ecosystem. So we will be having a retreat as well as a summit this year. I'm putting together that as we speak, and I'll make sure that it is a phenomenal, a wonderful experience. And all the ladies can get together and basically be great in whatever you need to be great, learn, build, break down, develop, and be the oasis of your life. I always want you to be the epitome of your grace, the epitome of your life. You are the woman that rocks the show. No matter what comes your way, no matter how many obstacles, how many naysayers, how many people that distracts you, even when you are down and out, you are great and you continue to be great. And you don't allow anybody to take that away from you because you are the hybrid woman. You are the hybrid experience. You are the next level of leadership. You are the next level of growing into the potential that you need to be. And you are basically phenomenal. Remember to always be happy, despite, strive to be successful in all that you do, and be mindful. As long as you're coming sincerely in a mindful place, that's all you can do. And if you fall short, pick up in that mistake, learn why you made that mistake, and take that mistake with you to strengthen you to the next obstacle that you need to go. Until then, be great and have a wonderful day.